My fellow Americans, tonight I want to speak with you about our nation's unprecedented response to the coronavirus outbreak that started in China and is now spreading throughout the world. Today, the World Health Organization officially announced that this is a global pandemic. We have been in frequent contact with our allies, and we are marshaling the full power of the federal government and the private sector to protect the American people. This is the most aggressive and comprehensive effort to confront a foreign virus in modern history. I am confident that by counting and continuing to take these tough measures, we will significantly reduce the threat to our citizens, and we will ultimately and expeditiously defeat this virus.
So what you just saw was President Trump's first response to the COVID-19 outbreak in the United States. And since then, many states and countries have gone on a full-on quarantine. In Virginia, we're on a stay-at-home order until June 10th. And until then, many people's lives will be changed. On February 27th, I hosted a talk show in my digital media class on the coronavirus. On today's episode, we'll be discussing the growing epidemic of COVID-19, better known as the coronavirus. According to the CDC, the respiratory disease was... We were not worried about the virus affecting us here. On March 13th, my university announced classes will be moved online. And later in the month, the school made classes for the rest of the semester online. And just like that, my senior year was over. My school made us go home, and pretty soon after, Governor Ralph Northam announced that Virginia was going into a full quarantine, and I've pretty much been at home ever since. I've been trying to keep my mind off things in quarantine. I've been trying to stay busy by doing things I haven't had the time to do before. Like most days, I went on walks, I did yard work, I went fishing a whole lot. I try to do a lot of different activities to keep my mind off things. Of course, while we all understand that we can't continue in-person classes, we're still disappointed that we had to cut our school year short. Casey Thuitt was another senior at Longwood University who was affected by the coronavirus, although he did not live in university housing.
So I went home, but I'm still paying rent for my house here, even though, I'm not living here and stuff like that. We didn't get any discount or reimbursement or anything like that through this time, which I don't really agree with, but so I'm still paying rent in the house that I'm not living in anymore. So I've been coming back every now and then. I kind of come back here on the weekends. I get some schoolwork done. It's easier to work here because, like I said, there's no one here. There's nothing to do.
Now, I do live in university housing, and we did get a little bit of a refund, but I think this really sucks for the students that lost their jobs during this time and are unable to pay for things at home. And they really could use some money to help them out, but the universities are not able to refund them money completely for their housing that they're losing. All the schools' closings really suck because there's a lot of seniors that were looking forward to doing many activities.
So having the senior year cut short is not the best. Obviously, it's not ideal at all, especially because it happened right when the end of your spring semester is the most fun time of the year. Everything's starting to happen, weather gets nice. Just all the little things that we're missing out on, not just seeing everyone every day, but the events on campus, the events off campus, stuff. It's kind of heartbreaking that we're not gonna have it.
Now, I have a friend, Hansa, from the Czech Republic, who's supposed to come to the United States to Old Dominion University to get his master's degree, but we're not really sure if that's going to happen at this point.
If I'm not able to come in August for my master's, it's gonna turn my world around, honestly. Because to leave Czech, I have to quit my current job, and I have to spend a lot of money to get there. And since I don't know if I'll be able to come or not, I'm in a dead zone.
So schools have been unfair, but a lot of the laws around the world have been kind of weird and crazy. My friend Asher up in New York has been experiencing the laws up there for the last several weeks.
So I've been sheltering in place in New York for about 5 weeks now. From what I know about New York, it's shelter in place. You're not supposed to leave your home except for, getting groceries, going to the drugstore, stuff like that, unless you're an essential business. And I think in New York, the main people who are essential businesses. They're like, healthcare workers, people who work in grocery stores, and even stuff like transportation workers. In New Jersey, there is a curfew. You should be indoors by, I believe it's either 8 or 10 p.m. They don't want to see anyone outside.
And that wasn't even the worst of the laws in New York. They actually got very intrusive, I think.
And then additionally in New York, one thing they've started doing recently, I think within about the past week, is they have a hotline that you can report people who you see are not complying with the social distancing. So for example, there's a group of people who was found, like it was a large gathering in like a park, and someone through this hotline, and the police, can come up and either give people fines or tell them to break up the gathering, stuff like that. So that's probably the most strict thing that's going on right now.
Most states have not been nearly as bad as New York has been. New York is more comparable to many countries over in Europe, like Spain. I have a friend, Iker Uarte, from Pamplona in Spain. He has been living in a countrywide lockdown for the last several weeks. Iker described to me what Pamplona is like during the lockdown. In the United States, most Americans have houses and yards that they can go into, while in Spain, most Spanish people live in apartments. The laws in Spain are very comparable to New York and New Jersey. People are not allowed to leave their houses under any circumstances unless they are going to get food or medicine. And even when they leave the houses, they can only go one at a time. There can only be one person in each car, and when they're at the stores, they have to stay at least 6 feet apart from the next person.
So when this situation started, we were not allowed to go to buy groceries with our family. So for example, only one person of each family was allowed to go to the supermarket or to the pharmacy. They said this was because they were trying to control all the people.
But the Spanish laws actually got worse from there.
For example, if the police caught you walking down the street or being outside of your house with no permission, they were putting tickets, and they were not low tickets. They were from 600 bucks to 600,000 euros.
Well, the laws were getting tougher and the stay-at-home orders were hard for everybody. My friend Hansa shares what it was like for him in the Czech Republic.
It's interesting. I'm lucky enough that my parents have a big house. So I live with my parents now. So we have a garden, and I have my own kind of apartment here. So I'm not affected as others. But then again, like being locked, have no options to do, nowhere to go. It's hard.
While Hans is fortunate enough to have enough space in Prague, Iker described to me what the conditions are like in Spain.
For example, in Spain, we live in apartments and in neighborhoods. So it's not like you have your house and you have your garden, so you can spend time outside, in the outside, or do your workout, run in your neighborhood, because only 6 to 20 houses are in your neighborhood. Here, there are like buildings with 7, 8 floors with, 20 to 15 families in each building. So imagine being in a, 100 square feet, or but for example, in a less than 100 square meter apartment, like 4 or 5 people, that's insane.
The coronavirus has affected us all. Whether it's that we had to social distance or stay inside, that we were on lockdown, we've all been affected by this over the course of the last couple months, and it likely will affect us in the future too. all around the world, states and countries are starting to open up, but we already know that there's going to be some changes. We're not too sure what they are just yet. So I guess we'll just have to wait and see where the coronavirus takes us.